You know, what's interesting about change is that I find companies just think change happens. They don't necessarily plan for it as well as they could. What types of initiatives do you see where change is a real driver?
There's an old phrase that change happens, and it does happen. It happens all the time, whether we're initiating it from within the organization or whether it's happening to us. You know, something external. It could be something in the economy or something geopolitical, whatever. Change is always happening. One of the things that's on CEOs' minds is that the growth that they want to chase, the opportunities that they want to leverage right now will be dependent on the talent they have. And right now, CEOs are not confident that they're going to find the talent, the people with the skills, the experience, and the knowledge that they need to actually capitalize on these opportunities.
So how are we helping companies address that need?
Talent really should be thought of as an ecosystem. That one part of the equation are your full-time employees who work for your organization, but there are all these other sources of men and women with lots of knowledge and skills and experience that can be brought to bear. We find that workers are staying in the workforce longer than ever before. Many, frankly, cannot afford or don't choose to retire at the traditional ages. And despite all of our progress, we're finding that as a whole, companies don't fully leverage women in the workforce, and there's more chances to do that. And millennials. There are an amazing number of young men and women who are graduating from just the finest schools all across the country. They can't find jobs. Recently, we sponsored a summit in Washington, D.C., where we brought business people, government leaders, and academics to the table to see, can we somehow resolve this mismatch between unprecedented levels of unemployment and yet organizations that are starving for new talent.
What about companies going global? That means that the talent has to be global as well.
And most companies that are trying to grow are having to look outside their domestic home base. And one of the big implications for that is not only do they need to understand who are those consumers or clients in those other markets, but they need to also hire folks who can help sell and deliver and manage the businesses.
So what should HR leaders be thinking about today?
HR leaders have an historic opportunity, and I don't use that word lightly. I think they have an historic opportunity to play a pivotal and strategic role. A lot of organizations have done a great job at figuring out their financial capital, their technological capital. The one area that they are now focused on is human capital. So what I'm seeing is that more and more CEOs are hiring very talented chief human resource officers, putting them on the executive team, not having them report into operations or not having them report into an administrative officer, but actually having a seat at the table to help chart the talent strategy of the organization. I find that very, very encouraging.